Hello. Oh, there we go. My dodgy fridge is back, guys. I apologise, but you're used to it by now. My dodgy fridge, it's not really dodgy. I think I still didn't defrost it. I'm not gonna lie. It needs defrosting. This is my wine fridge, by the way, guys. And before you guys call me an alcoholic, it's not just for wine, I put my other drinks in there as well. But yeah, it just makes a funny noise every now and again. I don't know if it needs defrosting or if I need a new one. I don't know. But yeah. Welcome to this episode, my lovely sexy listeners, because I know that you're all sexy. Can I just say, I was listening to a podcast yesterday in bed at 5 a.m. because I couldn't sleep. So it just makes me think, when you guys listening to my podcast, does anyone listen to my podcast while they're having a wank? Just asking, because I mean, it's not. I mean, I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm just asking, But yeah, wherever you're listening, however you're listening, hi, welcome. This is a safe space. This is a non-judgmental space. Okay, we judge a little bit. We do a little bit. But sorry, my throat is going. I wanted to talk to you guys this episode about a shitty experience I had yesterday. Basically, what happened was, yesterday I was going to North London, to Highbury and Islington. Yeah, Holloway Road. Anyways, I needed to go there, right? And I was in a cab in the morning. I left at 9:25 and I needed to be at the place for 11. So when I Googled it the morning of, I was like, oh shit, it's going to take an hour and a half. So I thought, okay, it'll be all right. So I got in the cab, and was on the way, and we was driving, but by the time we got from where I live, which is in south, let's just say south, by the time we got to Brixton, it was an hour already. It was now 20 past 10, and I was like, driver, yo big man, yo boss man, how long till we get to our destination? And he was like, 40 minutes. And I was like, like that. Sorry, that sounds like I'm doing a poo. But yeah, I was like, because that's 40 minutes without traffic. Do you know what I mean? So I was thinking, nah, there's no way I'm going to get from Brixton to Islington in 40 minutes. There was no way, when it had already taken us an hour. Do you know what I mean? To get from south to south. So anyways, I was like, nah, I think I need to get the tube. So we'd obviously gone past Brixton, so I was like, I couldn't get off at Brixton. And honestly, this is where my blind people problems just really kicks in. And so I was like, could you take me to Vauxhall? And he was like, I can't go to Vauxhall because I don't want to pay the congestion charge. So I was like, in Vauxhall? I didn't know that. I don't know. So I was like, oh God. So I was like, okay, what about Stockwell? So he was like, yeah, I can take you to Stockwell. And I was like, will you be able to take me to the station? Because sorry guys, I need to clear my throat. Yeah, because I don't think I've been to Stockwell Station before, or maybe not in years. And how I learn where buildings are and doors and stuff, I have to have gone there a few times. Obviously I can't see, so I can't just find a building like that easily. So I was like, please, could you park somewhere and then just walk in front of me and I'll follow you to get to the doors. So he did that. I mean, very reluctantly, but he did it. Got me to the station. I was like, could you just show me where staff is? So he called a staff member, because they were not on the by the barriers, they were behind the glass thing. So this guy came out. Obviously he had a mask on and everything. I had a mask on as well. And this is the issue. So usually, I'm just going to explain it for those of you that don't know, because there's a lot of sighted people that listen to this that don't know how I travel and things like that. So basically, at all tube stations and overgrounds usually, there's a system called Turn Up and Go by TfL. And basically it means you can literally do that. Turn up and they assist you and you go. 10 up and go, and usually it's fine, but obviously because of Koro, that's been restricted. And it's weird because I've got the tube a few months, like maybe 2 months ago or something like that. And the tube people were fine. Like they still, like, obviously they had a mask, I had a mask, and they still guided me, like, fine. Like, I held their arm and they guided me. But when I went to Stockwell, he was umming and ahhing. And then he was like, because they have to radio in to the control desk to say, like, where the person's going. So they'll be like, I've got a VIP, that's down to a visually impaired person. I've got a VIP going to Highbury and Islington. Then the guy on the other end of the walkie-talkie was like, oh, does she know about the taxi service? And then the guy was like, do you know about the taxi service? So basically, because we're not, like, allowed to guide you right now, we'll pay for you to get a taxi. And I was like, yeah, I know about it, but I need to get the tube because it's quicker. I've just come out of a cab. So then he obviously relays it back to the person, and then the guy's like, oh, okay. And like when you can tell someone's still like umming and ahhing, like, basically, yeah, he didn't want to touch me, bruv, innit? And I get that, do you know what I mean? Like, there's a pandemic, I get it, like, so I just wish that he had communicated that with me rather than like umming and ahhing and not really saying, like, he was talking to the guy on the walkie-talkie rather than like speaking to me, if that makes sense. Like, rather than just being honest with me and being like, oh, like, he didn't ask the question. What he needed to say is, yeah, how best can I assist you? Yeah? Because what usually happens is we hold their arm and they just guide us. But because of Koro, I understand that can't really happen right now. Although, as I said before, some stations are doing it. Some people don't care, but some people do. And I respect that. So I said to him, look, I can follow you. If you're wearing your high-vis thing, I'll follow you. Don't worry about it. I got you, bro. Do you know what I mean? Then this other guy comes out, like an older guy. And he's like, yeah, so what you need to do is, what we're going to do, then he looks at me, he's like, what we're going to do, love, yeah, is we're going to use your stick. Sorry? We're going to use your stick. And if you put that up, we'll hold the other end. And, yeah, that's like our distance. I said bomber class. Okay, I didn't say bomber class. But I was thinking bomber class. Like, sorry? First of all, guys, can I just say, the end of my cane with the ball that is on the floor is dirty. Okay? So who's holding that, bro? Like, who's holding that? Like, you're not gonna, you can't hold that. And the whole point of the cane is to be on the fucking floor. It's not to be up in the air. Like, because how are we then gonna know if there's a step, if there's an escalator? What fucking foolishness is that? Yeah? And the guy's telling me this with enthusiasm, as if like this was like some brilliant idea. Like, yeah, so what we're gonna do is, if you lift your stick up, yeah, then we hold the other end. No, brethren. I said, no, it's cool. I can follow his high vis. He goes, oh, you can see a little bit. You could, oh, okay, yeah. Follow him, use his high vis. Yeah, that's cool. And I'm thinking, oh my God. All this time, yeah, I'm sitting there thinking, I need to be somewhere. And I said, can we just go quickly, please? Because I really need to go. So we go through the barriers. Then the guy's got a radio back through. Oh, can you contact Highbury and Islington? Is that how you say that word? Highbury and Islington, to ask them if they can assist at the other end. And I'm like, oh my God. I said to him, I said, look, mate, I said, I know that you're waiting for them to get back to you, but whether they can assist me or not, I still need to go there. Do you know what I mean? Because again, guys, this is what happens. Like, you're supposed to get off at the other side, like at Islington, Highbury and Islington, and then there'll be another member of staff there waiting for you. That's how it's supposed to work. And then they guide you same way. But there's been many, many, many times, which is why I have such bad travel anxiety. There's been so many times where like you get off at like a station and there's no one there and you're lost. And obviously, like, bearing in mind at the time, there was not hardly anyone on the train, and there was no one when I got off at Highbury and Islington, there was not even other like customers, because I was like right behind the driver as well. So it's really, really hard, it scares me so much, because there's been times when I was by myself and just lost in a station. There's been times where I've been with my daughter, and do you know what I mean? Like, no one showed up to help, and it's hard. And like, I'm a vocal person in it. Like, I will ask someone for help, but if there's nobody around, who are you asking? And also, when you ask people, a lot of the time, especially on the tube, people either A, don't speak English, or B, have headphones in, they don't hear you. They literally walk straight past you. Like, it's so, so, so hard. Like, I'm telling you now, like, being lost in like a busy station, or just not knowing when you're going in a busy place, is so scary. Like, I can't even lie. Like, and I know that, you know, I have a freedom pass. Like, I'm grateful for that. I don't have to pay, but it is so scary. And that's why often I just take cabs, because I just can't deal with it. Like, imagine, like having to think about, okay, like you wake up, you get dressed, you're like, okay, I just want to go to Oxford Street, for example, but like, you're not just you're worried about like walking to the station. Like, is there going to be any obstacles? Like, you know, because if there's any like roadworks or anything like that, like, how do we get around it? Like, I learn routes in it, and I literally, like, I walk on the same side of the road and things like that, so that like because I literally know like where the steps are, where there's a drain or where there's a lamppost. I remember all of these things. So even like walking on the opposite side of the road is like a whole new challenge for me. And it's just so, like, honestly, it's so scary. And I don't even talk about it much. Like, I talk about it with my blind friends, but I don't really speak about it a lot. But it's a real thing. Like, travel anxiety for me is a really big thing. And then you end up spending so much money on cabs. And even with cabs, there's an issue, because cheaper cabs like Ola, Bolt, Uber, they don't have the most helpful drivers, as in, if you're not there, like, if you're not at the, you know, like, they have like the location thingy, but sometimes, like, I live in a flat, for example, and sometimes people find it hard to find the flat, like, because you know that it was like, what number house, but it's not a number, it's a flat. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's the name of the building, and they can never find it. And then you're like, you're like, boy, like, you're trying to describe it to them, and you're trying to be like, oh, like, I can't see can you come outside? Like, I'm outside, but I can't see like your car. And also, like, you can't see the number plate. So like, you guys can like check, if you're sighted, you can check, like, is this my car? Oh, it's a black Mercedes. Oh, look, that's the number plate. I can't do that. Do you know what I mean? Like, and so it's kind of like, you then want to get like more, like Addison Lee, for example, their drivers are more helpful. Refer back to episode 18 for those of you that don't. No, I'm joking. Don't. No, but it's like, the drivers are more helpful because you can write like a driver note. You can call up, like, you can call them and tell them like, oh, I can't see, could you put a note up for the driver so that they come and help me? And then it's more helpful, but it's expensive. Do you know what I mean? So you're kind of like, do you spend more money but feel safer, or do you just get Uber or Bolt or something like that and feel like very vulnerable, you know, like, as in, you know that they're probably not going to be able to find you, you're not going to be able to find them. Are they going to be helpful? Like, 8 times out of 10, they're not helpful, but occasionally I do get nice drivers. Like, I don't like to dwell on the negative all the time, but I have to be honest, and that's how it is for me. Like, I really worry about getting taxis, I worry about getting trains, like, it's really scary. I mean, buses, nah. Never. I don't like buses at all. I find it hard. Like, I can't see the numbers. Then you have to rely on someone to tell you what number, and it's just no. And usually with buses is that, like, you have to really know your route, because I can't just get off a bus and see the building that I'm looking for. It has to be a very familiar route. But anyways, sorry, going back to Stockwell. And so I was at the station. The guy, you know, I was following him down to the platform, got me on the train or whatever. I sat down or whatever. He's like, he'll call the next station. So when I got to Highbury and Islington now, it was a nice lady. Again, she was wearing a mask and she was wearing a high vis, and I just followed behind her. But she was really good with like her description. So she was like, we're just going to keep going straight for quite a while. Then when we was going to turn left, she was like, oh, we're going to turn left in a minute. Like, she was really good. And she was like, okay, we're coming up to some steps. There's a handrail on your left. Like, really good, like, just like audio description, basically. Like, she was good. Like, the first guy was just quiet. He was just walking. But yeah, she was really lovely. And then when we got upstairs, she was like, to get to the place you need to get to, like, you need to just get on the bus for one stop. And then she was like, I can walk you to the bus stop. Because again, like, if I'm in a place that I don't know, you don't know like what roads there are to cross, you know, like what obstacles are in the way and things like that. So she walked me to the bus stop, which was really nice of her. And then I ended up getting to my destination. But I say all of that to basically say that it's really like, obviously we all take things for granted and stuff like that, but it was just a weird thing because actually I haven't got on the tube in quite a while, and it just reminded me of why I don't get on the tube, because when I was standing there in Stockwell, I first of all felt like irrelevant because the guy was like just about speaking to me. It's almost like sometimes people don't see you. Do you know what I mean? Like when you have a disability, when you have a cane, like it's like they just see right through you. And also what I felt like was that where I needed to get to wasn't important. It was almost like, oh, she can wait around. She's blind. Like she don't have nowhere to go. But I actually did. And, you know, I'm not saying that I expect everyone to fucking rush all the time. But what I'm saying is that, you know, the lack of, like, when I say, yeah, it was almost like he was half asleep. Like, they just wasn't, like, trying to get me anywhere on time. And I'm like, I'm not stupid. Like, I know, like, okay, yes, it's fine. I can follow. Like, it was just, I felt like they was talking to me like I was an idiot. Do you know what I mean? Like, I weren't born and raised in London. Like, I know, like, the tube is fast paced. Okay, thank you. But yeah, it was just really annoying, and it just made me feel like this is why I don't get the fucking tube. Like, literally, this is why I don't get the tube. And the overground is even fucking worse, mate. Because the overground, yeah, I remember when I was going to see my sister a few weeks ago, and I think I had to change at Croydon. I can't remember. I think I had to change at Croydon, West Croydon Station. Oh, God. When I tell you, the gap was fucking huge. I was literally like, I don't know how I'm going to get off. I don't know how Janelle's going to get off. Like, and then they came with the ramp. Oh, God. They came with the ramp. So, that was better. But it was just like, nah. Like, this is why I just don't like public transport. I really hate it. And this is why, when I said in my Vice video that I need a man that can drive, yeah, people thought I was being rude. I'm not being fucking rude. I'm being dead serious. Like, who wants to live this fucking life? Like, if I could have a personal driver 24/7, that would be fucking fantastic, as I'm sure it would be for the rest of the world. Do you know what I mean? Like, but it's honestly like those challenges, and it's just put me off. Like, now, again, I'm like, do you know what? I do not want to get the tube for a while. I just can't deal with it. I can't deal with it. And especially because of Corona. I feel like before Corona, it was about, I would say, a 7 out of 10 service. As in, 7 out of 10 times I'd have a okay experience. But with Corona, it's like a 3. Because now they just don't want to touch you. And obviously when you're blind, you need people to like guide you, you know, well, if you don't know where you're going, but yeah, like you need people to guide you. And it's just horrible. Like, honestly, my heart just beats like so fast when I'm like going to a station or something like that, because I'm just like, I feel so shitty because I feel like not in control, and I like to know my surroundings. Obviously everyone likes to know, but I was just thinking, like, if I had sight, like I would be able to just like get out of the cab, be like, yeah, take me to Stockwell. And sorry, because if I had sight, would I talk like that? Take me to Stockwell. Yeah, if I had sight, I'd be able to like get out of the cab, rush into the station, you know, tap my card, go through, jump on the tube. I would have probably been there like on time. But because you have to wait around, and you know, you're a bit slower because you can't see, and the guy didn't even tell me when the fucking escalators were, like, it's just so, it was just awful. Like, it was just, I felt very, like, I wanted to cry. And I don't know if it's just because it's coming to the time of the month, but I just don't know. I just really wanted to cry, and I was just like, no, like, this is, I just feel shitty. I felt very shitty. So yeah, any men out there that can drive, call me. Call me. But also, you need a man that can drive but actually wants to drive you places, because there are men that can drive, but it's not driving your fat ass anywhere. So, I don't know. I need a generous man. Actually, I was speaking to my friend the other day, and I was saying that it's weird, like, I go through phases. Sometimes I want a man, and then sometimes I'm like, no, actually, Joy, you just need your damn self. Do you know what I mean? I feel like my association with men is hurt, like, because I think I'm just still hurt by my ex. Shout out to you, bro. No, I'm joking. But yeah, like, I feel like sometimes I say, like, oh yeah, I want a boyfriend. But then I'm like, but are you ready for a boyfriend? Are you ready for a good man? Because sometimes I actually feel like maybe I'm not. Because if a man is too nice to me, I'm going to be like, oh my God, you're weird. Like, why are you being nice? Like, like you're too keen. I don't know. Like, sometimes I don't know. I don't know if I'm actually ready. So what I'm doing is I'm pumping the brakes on my hunt for a man. Like, obviously, I always got one eye. I mean, I've only got one eye. Literally, I've only got the one eye. The other eye's blind. I've only got one eye on looking out for potential husbands. But I think, yeah, like, I'm working now. I feel so much better that I'm working. I feel so much happier, and I feel like I'm getting so much more done. Like, before, I used to just, like, obviously look after baby girl and kind of, do housework and then just kind of sleep. Like, it was almost like I didn't have, and because you didn't have anything to do, it's like easy to just kind of relax. But now I've got work to do. It's like I still look after baby girl, get her ready for school, then I start working, then I still do like laundry, still do cleaning, still manage to cook dinner when she comes home, bath, beds, everything. Like, it's weird how much I pack into a day, whereas before I just felt so tired, whereas now I actually have a reason to be tired, and that's what I really love. And I feel like I've achieved something in the day, like when I'm working, rather than just like, doing housework is hard enough, don't get me wrong, but I feel like I've achieved even more plus the housework. So yeah, like, so far so good. And update on my leg, it's a lot better. It's swollen, but that's because of my arthritis, so it needs to be drained with a needle. Ugh, it's really painful when they do that, but I've had it done quite a few times. Not looking forward to it, but yeah, they need to do that. But in terms of like the sprain, it's the sprain's a lot better. I can walk around now, and I'm not using the crutches. So yeah, that is much better. Thank you to everyone that was messaging me like, how's your leg? I'm like, it's okay now. Yeah, it's definitely better. Just have to be careful. Like, I just hope that doesn't happen again, because it was so fucking painful. But yeah, I need a nice man, I think. No, I don't need a nice man. I don't know what I need. I don't know what I want. And also, I'm so broody. Oh my giddy aunt. But hey, I've got my niece to look after, so hopefully she just cures my little baby urge. I'll just, see her every couple of weekends, and then I'll be like, no, I don't want a baby. She cries too much. Go back, baby. Go back. But yeah. I hope that everybody has been having a good week, because I have definitely had quite a good week, actually. Yeah, and do you know what? I met some lovely people yesterday, and that will all be revealed very soon. I recorded another podcast, so when that's out, I will let you guys all know, and you can go and listen to that. But yeah, I met some really nice people, and it's really weird because they were saying to me like, oh, Joy, like, you have a really good aura. And I've never been told that before, but it was like, you've got a really good aura, like, you seem like a really positive person. And I was like, oh, like, thank you, like, they was like, you really live up to your name. And I was like, oh, thank you. Like, I haven't always been, like, obviously, those of you that listen to my podcast regularly know that I talk about depression, and I feel like it's really important to talk about it. And it's weird because it's like, when I am feeling good and I'm feeling okay, I am very like happy, and I'm very like optimistic, and I believe in everybody. Like, I believe in my friends, I believe in my family, like, I believe like everyone can achieve whatever it is that they want to, and I believe like the sky's the limit. But then it's like, when I'm feeling shitty, I'm like the total opposite. I'm like, no, this world is shit. But it's like, yeah, it's really weird that other people view me as that, because I really don't view myself as that. And also, like, I really struggle with compliments. I literally, like, I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I hate them. Because I'm just like, I don't feel like that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's really weird. I was speaking to this guy, was it about a week or two ago, just like for some business stuff. And again, he was trying to compliment me, and I was just like, this is awkward. Oh, there's a dodgy fridge. Yeah, I was like, this is really awkward, and he was just like, I don't know, like, I find it hard, like, I don't know, I just find it hard to deal with it. Maybe there's a reason, I don't know. But yeah. Also, can I just say, I don't like men that are obnoxious and just up themselves. Like, some men are just like, they really think like, oh, I'm gonna help you. It's like, you're not gonna help me, suck your mum. Like, I don't know. So, like, sometimes you just don't get a good vibe from somebody, and like, sometimes your vagina is telling you that something's not right, and I feel like sometimes we have to just listen to it. But yeah. Yeah, I feel like trusting your vagina. If that makes sense, yeah. Like believe in your own, like, intuition, because a lot of the time if something don't feel right, then it probably isn't right. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, on that cheery note, that's it for this episode. Guys, I love you so much for listening to my podcast and getting in touch with me, and yeah, like, you guys really lift my mood when you message me and tell me nice things and tell me, like, how you listen to the podcast and how it helps you, because that is just genuinely, like, what I've always wanted. So I'm really, really glad, because I listen to other people's podcast for that exact same reason. Like, it gives me a bit of an escape, and a lot of the times I can also relate to them, and so if someone else out there, anybody, is like relating to anything that I'm saying, then it was worth it. It was literally worth it, wasn't it? Remember, you can always get in touch with me. I'm a human, I'm a person, I'm nice, I'm cool. Yeah, get in touch with me on Instagram at Joy's World The Podcast, Twitter at JoyXOXO. I don't use Twitter that much, but hey ho. You can email me, joyspodcast@hotmail.com. Yeah, I don't really use Facebook, but there's Facebook, Joy's World The Podcast. But yeah, like, again, thank you for listening and supporting me. I love you always. Remember to stay happy and live your best life always. Mwah.